Hey there, thinkers! Welcome back to Critical Hit. My name is S, and here we go again, people. Yet another cringeworthy round of damage control for Sweet Baby Inc. Because clearly, we can't let them actually face the music. No. Let's just brush it all under the rug, because it's been like, what, 6, maybe 7 months since Alyssa Mercante's article came out, which blew the lid off their nonsense and lighting up the internet. So let's keep pretending that didn't happen. And then 6 months later, we have the media machine running interface like clockwork, as if they're trying to gaslight everyone into forgetting. It's the same tired song and dance that we've seen hundreds of times over. Mainstream journalism swooping in to save the day for the companies they absolutely rely on. Because who's surprised that the outlets who need Sweet Baby Inc's money, favors, and access are the same ones tripping over themselves to write puff pieces and PR spins on command. I mean, after all, they've definitely got a cozy little arrangement going on there. And they definitely can't risk actually being journalists here, because that would actually put their precious access and paychecks in jeopardy. And the best part is that they're out here acting like they're doing some kind of public service, like we're not all here sitting watching their charade unfold in real time. It's almost laughable how transparent it is. They think they're fooling us, but we all know the game by now. They'll keep spinning for their corporate buddies while patting themselves on the back for responsible reporting. However, I have a few things to say here, but before I do, we have a small request. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, smashing that like, and ring the bell to be notified for our next video. We would greatly appreciate this, since this will help us appease those YouTube algorithm gods, so we thank you. Now, let's jump into this article from The Gamer titled Interview with All Eyes on Sweet Baby Inc. The developers are just getting on with their jobs. So, over the past few weeks, or maybe even a month if we're being generous here, we've been treated to a non-stop parade of damage control from Sweet Baby Inc. Honestly, it's absolutely everywhere. Articles, videos, social media posts, you name it. And if there's one thing that this company is getting good at, it's playing the PR victim. Front and center of this PR pity party is none other than Kim Belair herself, who seems to have made Woe Is Me her personal brand. Just recently, she took stage at the XOXO conference, where we all got to sit through a riveting half hour of what was essentially a live-action soap opera. And let's call it what it is. It was a sob fest starring Kim Belair as a tragic heroine under siege. Oh, poor me, everyone's picking on me. She practically deserved an Oscar for that performance. And Sweet Baby Inc., well, they're all just scrambling all over the place, working overtime to spin the narrative to get the heat off their backs, articles popping up left and right, videos popping up like weeds, and all trying to smooth over the latest backlash. And let's be real here, this isn't just another attempt at damage control, it's a full-blown campaign. They are pouring out content like water, hoping that the public will eventually forget or forgive. So here's the scoop. They interviewed some guy named Grant Roberts, who's been hanging around the gaming industry for about 25 years and thinks it's now hit rock bottom. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue when you've got mass layoffs and studios being shut down like it's going out of style. And I mean, when your business model seems to be, let's just keep chopping heads until something sticks, it's no wonder we're seeing this downward spiral. But hey, maybe if these companies actually cared about the games that they're cranking out, or about the people who they desperately need to sell them to, they wouldn't need to go on the attack mode every 5 minutes. It's almost like they think the best way to win over customers is to treat them like they're the enemy. But spoiler alert, that's not how you build loyalty. Honestly, it's not rocket science. If they invested just a fraction of their energy into creating quality products and fostering genuine connections with their audience, they might actually find success. They might not be swimming in the cash that they dream of, but at least they might have some semblance of stability instead of the constant threat of mass layoffs and studio closures looming over them like it's a dark cloud. Instead, they seem content to watch their empire crumble while pretending everything is fine. The industry deserves so much better than this sad circus act. Okay, So look at The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog had the perfect setup to build on the success of the first game, which was beloved for its incredible storytelling and character depth. So instead, they decided to pull a fast one and give us a plot that felt more like a punch to the gut than an engaging narrative. They practically waved a banner that read, "If you don't like it, tough luck." And then, instead of engaging with fans, they pretty much called everyone who criticized the game a toxic gamer. That's definitely a great way to build bridges. But job stability isn't the only force at play here. Grant Roberts, in a moment of questionable judgment, spent a whopping 1.5 years as a narrative director at Sweet Baby Inc. This consultancy, which managed to fly so far under the radar that it almost seemed like a secret society, suddenly decided to grace us with their presence this year. So talk about a plot twist. But here's the kicker. When you play coy and try to keep your business under wraps, especially from the gaming community, guess what? I'm sorry, but they're gonna dig until they uncover every secret you're hiding. Gamers live off finding secrets, so good luck with that. So Sweet Baby Inc. took the art of deliberately deceiving to a whole new level, all while thinking they could operate in the shadows without anyone noticing. But unfortunately for them, they were wrong. Honestly, once gamers caught wind of what was really going on, it was going to be game over for them anyways. We found out the truth. It wasn't pretty, and what was the result? A series of colossal game failures that left fans shaking their heads in complete disbelief. So Sweet Baby, bravo, because you've managed to turn the whole gaming world into your own personal soap opera. And I don't know, maybe transparency might be a better strategy than secrecy. Just a thought. Okay, so we all know Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League bombed so badly that fans were left practically digging through the rubble for answers. And what did they find? More dirt on Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement, because of course, right? Now, I'm not claiming that Sweet Baby Inc. had single-handedly sank the game. There is plenty of blame to go around, from questionable design choices and baffling gameplay mechanics, but let's be real here. Their fingerprints are all over the mess that left fans scratching their heads at the story. It's almost impressive how they managed to make a game featuring beloved characters feel so confusing and disjointed. Seriously, you would think that they were trying to win a prize for the most convoluted narrative possible. So, while Sweet Baby Inc. might not be the sole villain in this particular saga, they certainly deserve a spot in the Hall of Shame for contributing to the chaos. And after all, when you see a game drowning like this, it's hard not to raise an eyebrow and wonder what expert advice went so horribly wrong. So this article is going on about the so-called targeted hate campaign against the company because, if it were actually targeted, that would mean everyone was in perfect unison, right? It's almost like they think that the entire world just gathered around in a conspiratorial huddle to agree on this. Bless their hearts, because that's just not how it works. And clearly they missed the memo on what targeted really means. And yeah, sure, let's talk about harassment for a second. Because they seem to completely overlook the fact that Chris Kindred and Sweet Baby Inc. were the ones who kicked off this whole mess in the first place. They're the ones who initiated the harassment, yet somehow that detail gets conveniently swept under the rug. It's almost if they think that we wouldn't notice. But hey, why bother telling the whole truth when it's so much easier to play the victim and spin a narrative that suits them? Grant Roberts was asked what a narrative consultant actually does, and shocker, he spilled the beans, and their responsibilities can range from spinning the entire narrative of a game to merely skimming through design documents or character bios. And what a revelation, right? And of course, let's not forget the trendy buzzwords, because sometimes it involves all that crucial authenticity, sensitivity, and diversity work. So in a nutshell, they are finally owning up to the fact that they were basically the sensitivity police and diversity injectors everyone suspected they were all along. It's like they're trying to play hide and seek with their actual roles, and now they're just casually admitting, saying, yep, we were the people who made sure that everything was politically correct and not offensive. And this still kind of feels like a PR move to say that they do so much more than just that, when in reality, they're just confirming what we already knew. At least now we can stop pretending it's some big mystery of what their job description is. See, the problem is that Sweet Baby Inc. loves to boast about their partnerships with everyone from gaming behemoths like Insomniac, Sony, and Microsoft, to the little indie darlings and quirky passion projects that pop up in basements everywhere. Roberts proudly declares that they're equipped to handle all projects of all shapes and sizes, like some kind of consulting Swiss Army knife. But let's not kid ourselves here, because companies don't hire Sweet Baby Inc. out of sheer enthusiasm. No, they do it because they feel like they have to. It's a necessary evil to fulfill their ESG requirements, because who doesn't want to look good on paper, right? Talk about checking boxes rather than actually caring about the impact. It's more like a corporate get out of jail free card rather than a badge of honor. Oh, and look at Grant Roberts trying to play the blame game. He claims that the campaign was bound to happen. But seriously, it was Sweet Baby Inc. that set this whole thing off with their ridiculous antics. Honestly, their plan might as well have been to throw gasoline on a fire. Like, the cherry on top was when Chris Kindred decided to channel his inner dictator and try to deplatform anyone who dared to criticize them. I mean, like, talk about a bold move. And if he hadn't pulled that stunt, we might not even be here today calling this mess Gamergate 2.0. Instead, we could have had a calm discussion about the issues at hand instead of this chaotic circus that we're all stuck with now. So maybe Grant should take a good long hard look in the mirror before pointing fingers. Like, it's funny how people who create the chaos are often the first ones to cry foul when it inevitably blows up in their faces. However, those are my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And hey, before you go, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and ring the bell to be notified for our next video. As always, this is Est, and I'm signing off now, so I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!